it's amazing to see so many folks that during the last couple of months or longer, I have personally been chatting to about consolidation, and have either worked with you guys in your spreadsheet model or something different. So it's awesome to see you back here. Cool. Do we have anyone from New York City? No one from New York. All right. Cool. Okay, so I think we will just slowly get started now. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in on the webinar today. We're all extremely excited to show you our new consolidation product that we have been hard at work to get up and running. The way that we will do the webinar today is this is meant to be a product demo to show you how the product works and how you can get the most out of it. But before we dive into all of that, we will just spend a little bit of time talking about how we got to this point for where we are today, and what has led us to build this consolidation product overall. This is a problem that us here at LiveFlow have spent, I don't even want to count the number of hours solving, both for ourselves, but also for all of you in various different models, and helping you to set up your consolidation so they can be automated. So yeah, we are super excited, and some of the folks that are already in the webinar right now already have access to the new product and have helped us to shape this, and so we're super thankful for everything that you guys have done to help us make this a success. So let's kick off, and we will take questions at the end. But of course, if you have questions meanwhile, just feel free to drop it in the chat. I have the chat open here to my right, so in case I look to the right, you know why. And I will take the questions live as well if I can. So all right. So first off, we would like to thank all the folks that have helped us to develop this product. So Yehuda from Kalshi, who I know is already here, Steven from Landing AI, Stacy from Full Send Finance, Kyle from Collective CPA, Ali Kotari, the whole Ava acquisition team, the IgniteSpot team, Dan from Blue Collar Back Office, Jackson Pace from Refractional CFO, Paul Seaton, Amy from Mission First Ops, and as well as the whole Mission First Ops team, and a range of additional folks. So thank you so much. It's been great to work with you guys over the last couple of months to develop this product. And yeah, we couldn't have done it without you. And this is for you. So we're here to make it better. Great. And congrats also to the LiveFlow product and engineering team who has been building this product. Gustavo, Dima, Gabriel, Evan, Josh, Alicia, and many more have had a huge hand in building this. And some of you on the call have already met some of these people from our product and engineering team and from our FP&A and templates team. So we're super excited to show this to you and to get even more feedback. Cool. Okay, offers will be at the end. So now let's get to it. All right. So before we start, we basically just want to give some very brief context to how we actually got to this point where we are today. So when we first started LiveFlow, essentially what we did was that we help you to import your various reports from QuickBooks into Google Sheets. And so all of you are very likely familiar with this functionality for where you can grab your P&L or your balance sheet and import it into Google Sheets. And this is amazing. But after we launched this, we figured out that a lot of you needed to consolidate your entities, and so did we. So LiveFlow in and itself as a business has two entities, and we are doing this, and I am personally responsible for it still, and I spent a lot of time doing it. So what we first started doing was to build a financial model for where we would have our two entities located side by side in a spreadsheet like this. So we would have an entity 2 here, and we would have the entity 1 over here. And then what we would do is we would build this is all the past now, but it can still work. We would build a model for where we would aggregate the numbers in sort of like a dashboard sheet on top of this. So we would say, okay, how much did we make in online sales, as just a quick example, from from the first entity, we would get the 300,000 here. And then we would look at, okay, how much do we make in January 2023 for online sales for the other entity? And then we would use these formulas to pile it all together. So this was how we first started working on consolidation. This then led us to develop a range of templates that you might have all seen. These templates have been a great payday for us to actually build the end product, because they've taught us a ton of things in terms of how we should build the product. And some of these templates have then turned into products that a lot of you are using in order to do your consolidation. They are really, really handy. They're very dynamic. You can do a lot of things with them. But they have one thing in common, which is annoying and makes them a lot more complicated. And I think you all kind of know what that means. And it's some of these very complicated formulas that are running in the background to pull together the data. And whilst all of us here are formula nerds, and a lot of you guys are as well, the challenge with these formulas is that they're very hard to debug, and they make it harder to actually use the product if you haven't built the whole template yourself. So building all these templates have taught us a ton of things in terms of how we should go about this problem. This was one of the first templates we built for consolidating 4 entities. We went ahead and built templates that can consolidate 30 entities. So this one is this is a very much a power beast of a template, to say the least. With over, as you can see down here, with over 30 different P&Ls that are feeding into this template overall. So a really, really heavy spreadsheet going on here. After that, what we started to do, and some of you are also doing this already, what we started to do was to structure our templates around the concept of having consolidated mapped accounts. And so essentially what this is that we've noticed, or we did notice time and time again when we did consolidation, that it was very hard to do if you didn't have consistent namings across your entities on the chart of accounts. And so what we did was that we started inserting this mapping column for where you could map one account in your QuickBooks deal into a sort of consolidated mapped account. And this gave a ton of more flexibility when it comes to doing the consolidation, because we could now solve that problem of not having to match each account name and number. But what it also did was that we had to come up with very fancy ways to write this as a formula to pull the data together. And you may have seen that we previously did a webinar on how to use the sum product function to create a consolidated report with these mapped accounts. And it works, but it's complicated and it takes some time to figure out. And the formulas, as we just talked about, are prone to be difficult to work with. So this taught us a lot and helped us, on the way to also develop newer templates like this, where they have a lot more flexibility in terms of the way that we're displaying the data. And we played around with so many different concepts and learned so many things on the way. And so all of these learnings and all of these templates and countless hours spent on this basically led us to build what we now call the end-to-end consolidation product. And the whole goal of this product is to take away the formulas to enable you to consolidate even if you have inconsistent GL names across your entities, and just make it a whole ton easier and faster to not have to worry about models breaking because of the complications that's involved in spreadsheets overall. So for the ones of you that already have access, you've already now seen this new consolidation tab inside the LiveFlow product. And for the ones that haven't yet tried this product, you can get access to it by booking a demo with us or watching this webinar. So in the meantime, I will just, if you want a personalized demo after the call, then we will be available to do that also. So the way that this product works is actually really, really simple. So what we are going to build right now is a consolidation of 3 entities. So what I have done now is I've created my first consolidation group here. And the next step for me is to now go and map my accounts. So I've done a little bit of the work already. But what I would like to do is actually just to do it from scratch. So I will just delete these accounts for now and then show it all the way from the bottom. So let's make it a little bit bigger here. All right. So the way that it works is that these consolidated accounts on the left-hand side are effectively what we just mentioned as being the mapped accounts, which gives us this flexibility. And what we have over here is our individual QuickBooks entities, which then shows us the income accounts in this case. And so what we want to do now is to build a consolidated P&L for these 3 entities. And so whilst on these QuickBooks instances, we do have pretty good naming conventions on the GL accounts across the entities, we're actually going to go ahead and create these mapped accounts because they give us so much flexibility. So to start off, I'm going to want an account called online sales. And as the second account, I would like one called services. And the next step now is that I can now choose all the online sales accounts. So I'll choose this one, I'll choose this one, and that's it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to map it with our beautiful arrows here that our engineering team spent a lot of time figuring out and putting together, and map this into online sales. Similarly, we will go ahead and map services to services. And now we could ask ourselves, where should we put our SaaS revenue? Where should we put our retail sales? And so on. And for now, I'm going to want all of this to be put into services because I am looking to get a summarized P&L with not all of the details for now. So I'm just going to map everything else here into services. All right, so now that's done. All accounts are now mapped. Now we can do the same for the COGS. So we'll do this a little bit faster. So we will call one of them, let's see, what should we call it? Let's call it COGS services for now. All right, so again, we will say all of these should go into our services COGS, and all of these should also go there. And then for the sake of just having 2, we will create one called COGS online sales, right? So now these accounts over here, they're from like a real estate demo Inc. we have, a demo company. So the names doesn't really make sense in this context, but we will map them into online sales for now. So you get the whole concept. All right. So now for the expenses, this is actually really handy. And one of the very useful things you can use this for is to create basically a summary of the expenses, such that you can see it on a few high-level accounts as opposed to having everything shown, which is very handy, especially if you have, say, 4, 5, 6 entities, and you end up with a total of, say, plus 500 GL accounts. So we've created one called G&A. I'll also create one called, let's call it sales and marketing. And for now, we've actually mapped everything. But if I want to remap something, that's actually very easy. So I will go and say, hey, I want online marketing to go into our sales and marketing. So I will switch this. And then that will now, as you see, the $10 million balance now updated. And then we have one here to map, which is computers and equipment. And so I'm just going to map that into G&A for now. All right. So now what we can see here is we have now mapped all the income, COGS, and expense accounts. We still have yet to do the other income and other expenses, but we can do those later on. So now, what's really handy here is I can simply click on Preview Report, and LiveFlow will then quickly generate a preview of how this will look like when we have mapped all the accounts into one another. So what we can start doing is, if we check here online sales, it will show me the balance for demo Acme Inc., it will show me the balance for Acme US. There's no balance for real estate. And the combined total, we haven't eliminated anything as of yet, so that is now showing us as nothing. And then the totals, of course. All right, so now the next step is if we head over here to create consolidated report. There's a couple of different ways where we can create a consolidated report. So one is to show the companies, or show the columns, sorry, by a company. So this is basically display columns by company, which gives us that nice view. The other way is all the traditional ways that a lot of you guys know about just having a monthly period, a weekly period, a bi-weekly period, and all of the traditional ways to set up a report. So what I'm going to do is just generate one for a monthly period for now, for the whole year. So let's call it Consolidated P&L 2023. It's almost a year end now, so soon we will have to flip that. All right. So here we now get a consolidated P&L grouped together. So this now includes all these companies, and the balances are put together. So this makes it just a whole lot easier to see. And let's see, which date range did we choose here? Oh, we only chose this month. Okay, fine. One of the cool additional things that we have added to this product is that we automatically include a gross margin row, which just does the work for you guys and not having to insert that and calculate as a formula. So nice little addition. If you don't want to see it for whatever reason, if, for instance, we've noticed some of you don't book anything into COGS, then you can easily hide it for now. All right. So just coming back to the way you can display the reports. One of the other functionalities that we have added to this, and again, this was something we added because I can't remember who exactly, but some of you asked for it, and we thought it made a ton of sense to do that. So you can show the data by company by month. So this gives us a very nice sort of comparison view. So I'm just going to choose a shorter date range for this purpose. So we will do the trailing 12 months, with the last month being the ending last month. So in this case, it would be November. So let's create this as a report. All right, and we got that here. And what we will see here now is basically a different view for where we've got each company listed side by side. We then have September, October, November, because we're choosing the trailing 3 months. And then we show that side by side from company to company. So one use case that this can be very useful for is, for instance, if you're doing restaurant reporting, if you have different restaurants and you want to see, maybe not even by week by week, or sorry, month by month, but also if you want it to be displayed week by week. Cool. All right. So let me just take a quick pause because I see there's a few questions. So I'm just going to read through them here for quick. Hold on a sec. If you can you explain how the elimination entry work with the consolidation on the LiveFlow report? Yeah, I'll get to that in just a second, Lordina. So hold on. And then there's another question. Can you do the trailing view by class/location? Okay, cool. I'll just come back to them in a second. I'll be there. Great. Okay, so now and consolidated budgets versus Excel. Yeah, great. Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, we will also get there. So the way that it works on the balance sheet is essentially the same way when it comes to mapping the accounts. So you'll have the 3 different sections: assets, liabilities, and equity. And similarly to what we did on the P&L, we can go ahead and map any accounts that we would like from here into whichever account we would like here. And again, you get all function or all flexibility when it comes to this to create both sub-accounts and sub-accounts. So if we wanted to create a sub-account of current liabilities here, we could easily do that. And if we wanted to create a sub-account of long-term liabilities, we could, also do that here. All right, and the same goes for the assets. Now, if you have a report like this, and you have, let's say you have mapped some of the accounts, we will just map them a little bit randomly here, and let's map these here. So if you have done this, and you now go ahead and create a consolidated balance sheet report as an example, what we will actually start doing for you automatically is to auto map your accounts. So what this means is that we will now start to make guesses based on the account names and do the work for you, but still give you the flexibility to remap something so that you still obviously have full control over the numbers. But this should help you to also speed up your workflow, so you don't always have to come back if there's a new account added, to come back and to map it every single time. This is being released as we speak in the next coming week or so, or a little bit longer. So we're excited to also get that launched for you, where you'll get email notifications and so on. All right, so just back to the Nordina, back to the elimination. So the way that that works is essentially, if we wanted to eliminate something, we would go in here and we can say we want a we want to create an intercompany elimination account for now. You can call it anything that you would like, of course. And then what we will do is we will click here on the settings, and then we will mark this as an elimination account. And yeah, we have the first iteration we launched of this was a sort of way to get us to this step, which is now a lot better. So if you click mark as an elimination account, you can now say, okay, actually our services here should be eliminated, and we will mark that into here. And what then happens now when we go ahead and update and refresh the report is that you'll now see this reflect in the, if we move over here, hold on a sec, where do we have it by? Oh, I'll just create a new report, sorry. Consolidated P&L, and let's create this. So what you'll see now is that column with the elimination that we talked about before now automatically books this into here. And one thing to note on the elimination is that this is still sort of an early version of this. We are very, very eager to get your feedback on how we can make this even better. So if you have additional, requests, additional different ways that you would like us to do this, then please reach out, and we can also take this offline. But we really want to make this even better. So, but for now, we're very excited to launch this elimination functionality, which gives you the functionality to eliminate based on an account level for now. Cool. All right, give me one sec. Okay, so just addressing a few of the questions. So, Andrew, so can you do trailing view by class / location? So let me just see if I get it. So trailing view by, okay, so let's just go back here to create consolidated report. So we do a trailing window, and you mean, so Andrew, feel free to comment again in the thread, just to make sure I get it. At the moment, we can't do consolidation by class / location. It is something that we are looking at adding. So if this is crucial for you, then please let us know, and we can look at adding it. We would love to know how. Just love to know a bit more about how your QuickBooks accounts are set up, when it comes to using classes and locations, and how you would like those all to be consolidated. But this is something that we can look at adding into the product. All right, so and perhaps Josh Thomas, if you're on the call, can you follow up with Andrew on this, and we can take it offline. Cool. So let's see. All right, Daniel's saying, so consolidated budget to actuals. Thank you. So we do not have that added yet, but funnily enough, we actually did build a full template for this a while back that did consolidated budget to actuals. Again, this is something we can potentially look at adding into the product. Daniel, I would be curious to see on this one where you are storing your budgets, if they are stored inside of QuickBooks or you have them entered into Google Sheets or Excel. If you urgently need this to be done, we have templates that can do it, and we have done it many times before, so we can pull it together. Right now, we just don't have a way to consolidate all your QuickBooks budgets, for instance, and put it into here. But again, Josh, if you can follow up with Daniel on this, that would be great. All right, so let's see. Brandon, is there a checks function to confirm you've mapped all accounts in the consolidation? Yeah, great question. So the way you can see you have mapped all the accounts is when you go into the mapping here, you'll see a little text here that says all accounts are mapped. What you can also do is you can say hide mapped accounts up here, and then we won't show you any accounts that are already mapped, and that way you can do a check. I guess, Brandon, this is now going to turn into a full product feature roadmap, which is great. Brandon, we should sync offline exactly to understand what exactly you mean by a check function, because I reckon that it may be something different than what I just explained. Because if it's related to the actual balances, etc., then there's a different way that we can do. Okay, you did. Okay, so I did answer the right question. Thank you. Okay, fine. All right. And Casey asks, is multi-currency supported, i.e. consolidated into entities with different reporting currencies? Yeah, so we do have multi-currency in all of our templates. We are yet to build it into this product, but it is on the roadmap. And again, something we can fast forward as we see the need for it. I will tell you, Casey, we LiveFlow ourselves have multiple currencies, so I'm personally quite interested in getting that up and running as well. Yeah, all right. And Susan says elimination by class and location would be really helpful. Yep, we got it. Josh, let's make sure to follow up with Susan also. Ali says, so classes won't consolidate if they are the same across entities. Let me think. Well, yeah, at the moment, we don't have the ability to do it, Ali. But again, let's catch up on this offline, and we will see if we can prioritize it. It seems like it would be a really, really good value add. So yeah. All right, and Nika asks, are you able to use this tool from data generated in Excel? Nika, question, when you say data generated in Excel, what do you mean? Do you mean you have some budgets or not in QuickBooks? Okay, got it. Well, okay, understood. We could, but it would kind of lose the purpose of LiveFlow, because LiveFlow basically helps you to import your live data from QuickBooks into Google Sheets. So yeah, if your accounting data isn't in QuickBooks, there's probably a way to like make a model that can do this. but you wouldn't get as much out of it, to say the least. It would, yeah, we would have to take a look at it. But yeah, otherwise, if you're not on QuickBooks, then I would obviously recommend going on QuickBooks so you can use LiveFlow. Cool. But thanks a lot for the question. So just coming back, so one of the, this is specifically useful for, yes, the only integration is with QuickBooks. So just coming back to the product here. So one of the things that will be really useful for especially accounting firms with dozens of clients is this ability to create a firm template and then actually use our consolidation product to create summarized P&Ls for your clients, even if it's just as a single entity client. So I'm just going to show this in a new example. So we will create a new group here called my accounting firm template. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to call it, because there's a lot of the Salesbury team here on the call. So let's call it Salesbury template. All right. So one additional way you can actually use the consolidation product, which is really handy, is to create these summarized P&Ls or balance sheets that are a lot easier for your clients to read. So for now, I'm just going to add one client into this and click save. And so here, what we could do is we could create this sort of Salesbury firm template. So we could say in this one, you know, we want two income accounts, one that is for the client's online sales, as we did before, and one that is for their retail sales in this case. And you could then go ahead and, you know, do the same mapping as we did before. So we'll just do like this and like this. And you could do a few expense accounts. So you could do, say, admin account, maybe. We could do a payroll account. We could do a, what else? Marketing account, and maybe a travel account. And so we could label this as the Salesbury firm template. We could then say we map these here, we map these here, we map these here, just a bit random for now, and we map these here. And so now this is just could be for a single entity client even. You could then say, okay, we create a summarized high-level P&L so that it's easier for them to actually view their data just on a single entity. And so let's call this single entity. So now what we actually did was that we took this Acme US company. I'm just going to import it here. We took this P&L, which normally would look like this with a lot more detail. So we would have online marketing, subscriptions, travel, etc., and a lot of different accounts. And we just turned it into a much more summarized, easier to read, high-level overview of this specific client's numbers. And then the best part is it's then really easy for you as a firm to duplicate this to the other clients. And so now you have your Salesbury template. We can then say duplicate group. And then we say this is for the Salesbury client 1. And then we would change the company to be the other client, save this. And now you'll see that all of the accounts that we just created are automatically copied over. And then all we would have to do for the next client is just to do the mapping again and do a little bit of setup. So we would go like this and like this. Now, let's just get these two. All right. And then we would have like in a matter of a couple of minutes, we would have let's call it single entity roll up 2. We would have this now as another report for the other client, right? And then now the best part that comes into it is that once we now have gotten the GL accounts from these clients into a more standardized format, what we can now do as a firm is we can start to do comparisons across the clients. And so we could say, okay, how much is on client one here? Let's just add a very quick column here. Oh, let's do it here. So let's just say percentage of total. So we could say, okay, well, we really want to know how much is the first client spending on admin costs as a percentage of total expenses, right? So we can add a quick formula here. We'll just check it for January for now and copy this down, right? So now we have some kind of benchmark here. So this client is spending 23% of their total on admin cost, 29 on marketing, and 47 on payroll. And then now it's actually really easy to come over here and do the exact same thing. So we could say, okay, well, we want to know how much are these guys spending on this, and then bring this down, right? And now we start to have, this is some high level numbers, but now we have some numbers to actually start to draw comparisons with. And even better, we can start to give clients more concrete advisory and advice in terms of how they should be thinking about their numbers, and how they should be thinking about optimizing their spend to be more efficient, as an example. This is a really, really handy way where you can do this. Back into here, once you then have a group template, you can duplicate this group as many times as you would like, and create this then for either each of the clients or on a consolidated level. The additional thing, let me just see if I can show this real quick here, is yeah, so is that the hold on, where do we have this? Yeah, so the additional thing that you can experiment with creating as a firm is, let's call it a client overview benchmark. We'll just do a very simplified version of this. So we'll add all of the accounts here, or all of the entities. Is that you'll notice that we automatically auto map accounts from income to income, from COGS to COGS, and from expenses to expenses, and so on. So if you just wanted a very quick kind of client comparison and overview, what you could do is to generate this as a report. And there's actually going to be, by the way, there's going to be a webinar about this specifically in January, hosted by Jackson from Refractional CFO, who's built an absolutely awesome model and template where he does this in much greater detail. But here you can get a very quick overview of each of your clients and their income, their COGS, their gross profit, their gross margin, etc. So you can actually use the consolidation functionality not just to consolidate, but also as a way to compare performance across your different clients. So really, really handy. All right, so got a few questions here. So do we need to manually create each consolidated account, or are there pre-populated options? Good question. So at the moment, you'll need to create each of the consolidated accounts yourself. But we are thinking about and experimenting with ways that we can auto-generate the consolidated accounts based on, say, either industry. Industry would probably be the most obvious one. Company size, because when you're bigger, you probably have more GL accounts. So yeah, watch out for the future, Noemi, and we might build something into it where you hopefully click a button and you see all of the accounts auto-generated for you, but still giving you the option to change it as much as you would like. All right, and then we've got the consolidated accounts are listing in alphabetical order. Can we customize the order and personnel? Great question. So yes, you can. So the way to do this would be, let's go back here. So if we would like to organize them in a specific way, because we right now rank them just alphabetically, what you could do is to add numbers to them. So we would say 1, 2, oops, sorry. 2, and then 3 for say admin. And then this way it's gonna be, you can organize them exactly as you would like. We will build functionality such that you can, organize them, like just drag and drop them at some point probably, to make this a little bit easier. But for now they are alphabetically ordered. But yeah, if you just add numbers in front of them, then you can organize them the way that you would like. Cool. Okay. And Nika says, I love this compare performance between companies. Yeah, it's actually a very, very useful functionality that can turn into, much more than just what it is today. A very quick way that you can also think about this is if you if you want it to be organized like this instead, you could also do that, which is actually very easy. So we'll just change the format a bit here and do like this. And now we've got a nice sort of overview of all the clients and then these respective, these respective numbers. And then what we could actually do is we can, I will just write a very simple formula right now. Don't do it like this, but you could actually do like this to get this nice overview. We should write an index match formula, which is a lot easier or a lot more robust. But I'm just not going to bore you with all of that right now. But yeah, this is a very good functionality of the consolidation as well. Okay, great. So I think we've covered, and thank you for all of the questions. This was great. I'm just going to check here if there's something that I missed and that we haven't covered. Let's see, managed group, P&L, balance sheet, we covered that, and there's been a lot of great questions. Yeah, I think that's it. We'll leave it at that. So